Hey techie friends, I am on the road for about a week now and I've gotten zero riding in. But today I was supposed to meet up with an old friend from Richmond, Virginia who has moved up to the New Jersey, New York area, and unfortunately he had some car trouble and he was not able to make it today.
Why have you forsaken me, Richard? Why?
So it was actually really easy to say, maybe I'm not gonna ride today, maybe I'll just spend some more time with family. What am I supposed to ride alone like a Benny or something? Forget about it. But I got myself together and the ride must go on. So I am here at Washington Valley Park. I just opened up Trailforks and there was a nice juicy cluster of black trails right in this park that I thought, delicious. So I decided I was going to come out here and do a little ride. So I figured I would drive around these ride around these black trails and see what there was to session and give you my take on the type of features that are here at Washington Valley Park. I'm in the parking lot and I guess it's simple enough. Just need to go that way and do the outer loop. Good thing I checked. That was totally the wrong way. Gotta go the other way. Yeah, so I got turned around again looking off this road. The map says the black trail should cross over right here, but I didn't see it. So I'm gonna go down this little green trail here, and the map says that forks right into the black trail. So wish me luck. Oh my God, this trail's so hard to find. Just keep crossing over this green trail looking for a black trail that goes through it. Nothing yet. Keep hunting. So I checked Trailforks and I somehow magically made it onto the black trail. There were no obvious intersections that would tell me that I'm on the black trail. No trail markings, but I haven't found any features yet worth stopping for. So just a little bit of chundery, feels like a green trail to me, but we'll keep you posted. Find yourself at a fork in the trail, take it. Ended up not riding alone after all. What's up, Buck? So this looks like a fun little beginner feature. A little bit of a downhill into a rooty uphill section. Again, this wouldn't cause a problem for most riders, but if you're new on the bike, this is definitely a little bit of chunder. So scoping out this line here, it looks like you've got this little rock here that's sticking up that could potentially grab your tire, and it's right in the middle of the trail. So you're either going to want to go to the left or to the right to actually avoid that. And so you're going to want to look, and it's going to depend on the roots behind it and where exactly you're going to want to come up. You can see that on this side, that root is a little bit thick. It's going to take a little bit of a front wheel lift, as well as it's probably going to grab your back tire a little bit and you're going to lose some momentum. But this inside line, which is actually overgrown here, so it doesn't look like it's not the herd line, but this overgrown line here is going to take you up right over the center of those roots where they're closer together and they're nice and relatively flat, and that's probably going to be your best, fastest line and smoothest line. So let's see how it works out. Yeah, I think that line was definitely smooth, but I don't know these trails and it curves a little bit right after to the right. So definitely doesn't set you up great for that turn. I'm going to try the other side and see how that feels. Well, that line definitely was a little rougher, but I did feel like it set me up better for that turn behind it, even though I still overshot it. So there's a rock right here that also sticks up, that once you get up here with a good pace, you want to stick to the right of it. So that's what's kind of throwing me off and sending me a little bit high on the trail, but I think with enough practice, you can hit that inside line nice and smooth with enough speed to really just straighten this section out. So my vote is inside line. Always a little heartbreaking to see. It's such a great, like, look at all the rocks here. Nice little rock garden, but the pathway is clear. It really wasn't difficult at all. As I was here admiring all those rocks, I looked up here. Is that a feature? Let's find out. So it's not a huge feature, but based on what I've seen in the park so far, I am going to stop for it. It comes off of a nice little downhill slope, kind of turny, and then boom, into a little bit of a kicker that catches the trail, so you can gap the greenery a little bit there and then end up in the trail. Now, I am not a great jumper when it comes to height, but I'm gonna go ahead and stop and give it a go. Not completely smooth, but first time hitting it, and not a great jumper, self-admitted. But this was actually on the blue trail as I was coming off the black trail. Black trail really didn't have anything, so spotted this. Nice little kicker with enough practice, and if you're a good jumper, you can get out there. Though when I was slowing down at the end, some of the rocks wanted to wash my front tire because they're loose, but not too bad. Intermediate feature. Climb, no bueno. Yes, sir. I am all about free trail snacks. Nom, 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 nom. So I was suffering up this climb, which is really not all that bad. I'm just a wuss when it comes to climbing uphill. When I look to the side and I can see what appears to be a little side techie line. So comes up here, around the rock, up onto the boulder, and down. Now, this line would probably be very scary for a beginner. So I'm going to say more of a low intermediate feature. Let's see how it goes. Oh, tricky entrance. So that top entrance was a little sketchy and made it a little tough to get up on the rock, but it was smooth. A few little sessions, you'll have it perfect. So this is a very common beginner feature in a lot of trail systems, so I wanted to stop and just quickly go over it. It's a rock with a square face right in the middle of the trail on a climb, whereas most likely your front tire may not make it over this if you just ram into it. So one of the first things that'll really elevate beginners riding to the next level is learning how to consistently and reliably lift their front wheel up. Now, the first step to this is actually what most people do is lift their front wheel up and then they let their rear wheel slam into it. It loses a lot of momentum, especially on a climb. So what you're going to see is when I ride up here and I get my front wheel onto it, as soon as my back wheel starts approaching, I'm also going to pick up my rear wheel, push the bike forward a little bit so the rear wheel ends up on top of the rock without slamming into it, so that I can keep a little bit of my momentum. So let's see how it goes. So that was a little slow because I started from just behind the camera and didn't get much run up. But when you have your balance on you and you're just going nice and consistently, it helps to get right up on that, especially lifting that rear wheel so that you don't slam, possibly stop, and then spin out. And then you can just keep on going, climbing right up the trail, or if you're like me, pushing up the trail. So I'm sure you can't really tell on video, but that looks like steep, loose rock. Anytime you see a rider onto a feature, it's probably an indication that there's something challenging that needs riding around. So let's stop here and let's see how it goes. So that's not as bad as it looks, actually. I got a little bit lucky that those rocks didn't shift more, but I think the key there is just keep yourself perpendicular to the ground, stay nice and balanced, keep spinning, kind of expect a little bit of a slip, a little bit of your bike to wiggle, but just keep on pushing right up there and keep your balance. Should be good to go. All right, guys, I finished my ride. What is the deal with Washington Valley Park? Well, starting off, I was very excited. I was looking on Trailforks, which typically has pretty good ratings, and they're typically right on. So when I saw a big cluster of black trails in this park, I was very excited. Knowing New Jersey to be the rock garden state, I was excited to see some tech, and honestly, I didn't see very much. What you saw in the session videos here is pretty much what there was. So I would give it a beginner techie trail rating. There's enough little bit of chunder and roots to keep it interesting for a beginner rider. If you're bringing a beginner rider out and showing them the ropes of technical riding, it'd probably be a good place for them to cut their teeth on. But not really any standout features to write home about. As in terms of the features that are here, I would give it a 1 out of 5 spilly rating. It's not going to challenge you very much. The risk of crashing is very, very low. I want to give a shout out to David, who I ran into on the trail. He's a local here and rides here, 63 years young, and he's still out here doing it. He told me that I found what I was going to find, and there's not going to be much else. So I really only got about 4 miles in today, and you know, I found what I found. So you'll see it on the video. If you come up to New Jersey and you're riding some trails up here and the big rocks and tech is not your thing, then this would be a good trail. It has just enough tech to keep things interesting. Not super fast. I wouldn't call it flowy, but you know, there's enough chunder to keep it interesting, but not a whole lot to really get the stoke up. So again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, David, for chatting me up on the trail and showing me, at least pointing me around, and not making me ride a bunch of miles I didn't need to ride to find tech that wasn't going to be there. But yeah, you know, if you're in the area, any trail is worth a go. If you're new to an area and you've never ridden, it's always fun to be on trail you've never ridden before. But it probably wouldn't be on the top of my to-do list if I was making a trip to New Jersey. So thank you guys for following along. Please subscribe. I'm trying to build up my base here. Please subscribe. If you really like the video, if you want to see more and more videos, I swear to you, content is just going to keep getting better. Please become a Patreon and help me support keeping these things going, and help me support making them better and better. Thank you guys again. High five.